Okay, so what type of athlete should spin? What type of athlete should glide? I think we've got to remember, are we collegiate throwers? Are we high school throwers? Do we want to get scholarships in college? You know, so first we've got to think about that at a young age in high school. Then we've got to think, how far do we want to go? Do we want to be one of the best shot putters in the world? Do we want to be one of the best discus throwers in the world? Okay, so if we factor in that aspect, we can sit there and say, okay, if I want to get a collegiate scholarship and I want to throw at the collegiate level, you likely should spin in the shot, and you likely will take that spin work in the shot and carry it over to the discus, okay? So you're sort of killing two birds with one stone. Now, here comes the big if. If you're an athlete that's wired and very, very aggressive and super explosive, and you get in the circle and you like to cut the brain off and just hammer, just go. If you're that individual, in most cases, you will benefit from the glide. But we want to make sure you're at least 6'2", no shorter, and 6'2" to 6'6" ideally, and weighing about 270 pounds if you're a male. Females, I believe, can get away with gliding at a much smaller body weight and body height, and they can still throw very, very far. So this isn't truly answering the question of what type of athlete should spin versus what type of athlete should glide, but we've got to remember, do we want to be an elite world-class discus thrower? Well, then we should spin in the shot. Do we want to be an elite world-class shot putter? We likely should spin because biomechanics will tell us that the spin is more advantageous than the glide. But if we're wired differently, if we're wired more aggressively, if we're a little bit tighter in certain positions, if we're tighter in our hips, we should continue to glide, and you will be capable of gliding and throwing 20 to 21 meters if your technique is sound. And that's always going to be what we come back to, is that we have to embrace the fact that technique rules over everything. So spin, if you want to get scholarship money in college, spin in the shot, spin in the discus, obviously. If you want to be a world-class discus thrower, spin in the shot. If you want to be a world-class shot putter, you have to analyze what type of temperament do you have, what type of learning capability do you have, how aggressive are you, how well can you handle stress and technical sessions versus non-technical sessions, evaluate what type of individual you are, and then decide whether or not you should glide because you're a little bit more aggressive, or you should spin because you're a little bit more technically minded. And ultimately, technique is what we need to focus on with every single movement that we're going to pick. Shot, spin, shot, glide, or spinning in the discus.